Hello and welcome my fab fans to Glam's new video. I will doing crochet and finishing the scarf with gloves. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Let me just get y'all down to lap level because that's where I crochet. Let's get everything set and settled. To be fair, I got really far when I was streaming. And I didn't expect to get as far as I did. Like, I got really far. To be fair, to make it the correct length, it has to be around hip level. So it's like where pockets would go. Because that's where you'd stick your hands normally, is in pockets. Then I'm going to thread it so that this. And you have to take your ring off slightly so that you can add thread through it. You know that it was a process. Oh wait, I did. I think the funnier part about me doing any form of crochet is not knowing what I'm doing, except with the bare minimum of knowledge that I looked up on the internet before I even started. And also asked a few questions from my friend who is like, oh, this is an extremely delicate art form. Don't be weird. And my only thought being, I'm doing it because I was asked to try out a new art style. This is technically not the first time I've started crocheting. When I was younger, I did crochet a little bit, but I never had the proper tools for it. I just had access to yarn. And so I would crochet without a hook. And you're like, how might you do that? And I'm just like, with my hands. But you know what? The crochets were very even. 10 out of 10 would never do that again because vastly annoying, but for a person who did not have anything other than the yarn, when I did try, it was something. The reason I had yarn is I have no idea how I got it or why I had yarn. I just did. But I was also like using it for doll hair because I wanted to try doll making or like revamping. So it's where you like replace the head of hair with some fibers and stuff. And I was gonna give her yarn hair. I gave up after doing half the head and never tried again. So I don't even know what happened to that doll. I will say I did not destroy a doll to revamp it. I just had a broken doll. Which seems creepier because like why would I have just an unwell kept doll? The answer is I have no idea how I found it or where I got it from. It just appeared one day in my closet with all my other miscellaneous items. If you have any good like Netflix movies that you want to recommend, feel free. I feel like it would entertain me a little bit. And the reason I have Netflix is because my dad pays for it. So thanks, family bonds, for the free entertainment. Oh, we got a repairman that showed up to fix the heat. I just heard someone yell uncool. It was definitely someone who was in their 50s, so it made it so much funnier. I will say though, I am gonna try to switch my shifts today with someone else from work. And one of my managers that was gonna work today was like, I kind of would rather work with this one rather than this one. And I'm just like, ooh, drama. I found it entertaining. Because I was trying to see who I could switch with, because I'm just like, well, I still want to get my hours, but like, I don't want to work till 11 because I'm in school and I want more time to do schoolwork and filming. Believe it or not, YouTube is decent priority to me because I've seen how fast I am getting followers, and the support really does make me want to work more for doing YouTube videos and making content for people, making people laugh, making people smile. And seeing my channel grow really motivates me. I made it 1/3 away from getting my next goal, which is 3,000 watch hours. I only hit 1,000 watch hours so far. And the more people watch my content, the more views I get, the better the watch hours get. The shorts are great and all, and I love doing them, but it's really unrealistic of me getting like 1 million short views. It's highly unrealistic. Like, as much as I'd love to hit that goal, it's less likely to happen. Oops, I did it backwards. Oops. Something I like to do in my free time is research mental illnesses and the similarities certain mental illnesses have with each other, because I find it entertaining to learn about them. One of the mental illnesses that I do study the most about is schizophrenia, because I've met people with paranoid schizophrenia multiple times, all of which had their schizophrenia develop not only because it runs in the family bloodline, but also because they were attacked while in a place that they thought was going to be safe, which is dark. But you never know when you're truly safe, so you can see how that might affect a person. There are a lot of stories of abuse on my mom's side of the family. Apparently, my great-grandfather, was not only in the military, but also a drunkard who abused his wife and kids. He used to beat my grandmother whether she did what he asked of her or not. And then eventually she just stopped listening because, or at least that's what she says she did. She says she eventually stopped listening because she was going to get beat regardless of whether she listened or not. Well, now she drinks every day. And, well, she is also not a great person, and she used to beat my mother, according to my mother's word. My dad constantly likes to say that me and my brother never got enough spankings, and that's why we're so mean to him and my mom. But we actually truly me and my brother truly respect our parents for the fact that they never really wanted to lay their hands on me and my brother. Usually it was just sit in the corner, think about what you've done, rather than a spanking. And I really appreciated that. Like, yeah, I'll think about it. I do wish it was more of a discussion, like, why was what I've done wrong? But it's not like they had much to go off of, okay? A lot of their friends were very neglectful to their kids. There are many different forms of abuse. Physical, mental. Mental abuse is the worst kind in some ways. Like, you won't end up physically dead if you're only mentally abused, but why I think it's worse is because it permanently changes how you view things. Like, you become a different person because of it. You lose part of yourself when you're mentally abused, manipulated, or taken from. You lose part of yourself. My parents did a damn good job at raising me and my brother, despite them hating each other. I knew our parents divorced because of each other, not because of me and my brother. Which is why I never really hated either side, even though they tried to get me and my brother to hate them, or one of them. My brother thinks our mom is too much of a person, and I agree. She is a lot to deal with. Very exasperated and animated. A lot. She was diagnosed with ADHD. Like, that is canon. The canon diagnosis. Having a discussion with my father and knowing how his habits are, and he's like, yeah, I might be a little autistic. No proof of this in my bloodline yet, but it's a possibility. Because we do both fall under the symptomatic sets of how the thinking process works for autistics, and it is hilarious. Like, according to the DSM-5, we fall under these traits that are very, yeah. You probably should think about getting like a diagnosis, but at the end of the day, if we still survive and cope with ourselves, do we really need it? Nah. My refusion is I just hate talking to doctors. I also hate making phone calls. You'd think there'd be therapy offices where you could schedule an appointment online via text. It's like they forgot disabled people exist. Like mute and deaf people. They need it too. They need therapy. And they can't make phone calls by themselves. Like legitimately, they can't. Phone calls require two skills that a deaf or a mute person don't have. Completely. Even mute deaf. Like a deaf person might be able to speak, but they can only uphold one side of a conversation, and it's their side. Mute deaf, they can't hold either sides. They can't hear or speak. And a mute person can't speak, so how are they going to relay information? Having the only way to like make an appointment with a psychologist center being a phone call is so closed-minded and nearsighted. Especially since there's so many deaf and mute people that live in my state. The amount of deaf and mute people that I have to serve personally, that only their parents really know. You know, the farther I get, the more I realize there actually really is a gradient happening. It's just so slow. This yarn is so soft. It's the best thing ever. Oh my god, it's getting there. I'm so proud of myself. I'm getting so far. Yes. Yesn't. Both my family members are very different forms of supporters. But I also think both of our options for presidency have their own faults for many different reasons. But God, do I not want another repeat of Biden. Everyone thought he was going to be better. No, he did so much nothingness. He did nothing. Everything got worse, everything got more expensive. It was just a lot of nothing good. But I also found out a fact that apparently Trump did help LGBTQ groups. And I'm like, I don't know if it's true or not. And I have no idea how to find out whether it's true or not. My sis told me about it, and she's very smart. So I'd hope she'd look for like backups to her evidence and thoughts. And hopefully her source was correct and not plagiarized. Well, not plagiarized, that's not the word I'm looking for. Forged. Or incorrect. I hope it was like credible. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a supporter of any presidents, but that's because of the fact that it's it's like a beauty pageant. It's a popularity contest. But I feel like a popularity contest is very American and very fitting for how we do any form of presidency or power. I'm so glad we don't have a monarchy, though. But democracy and monarchy were known to be some of the worst forms of government. Mm. I remember doing research papers on this in high school where, like, hey, what's the best forms of government? Democracy was so far at the bottom of the list. And I didn't even know there were so many different forms of government. There's like more than 9. I don't know why this is a thought that I'm having. My mom likes to call Trump a blabbering idiot, though. I find that really funny. But I also don't like to be a part of politics. Because I'm like, I'm not educated enough to have any opinion on this. I'm specifically not educated about politics enough. I'm educated about other things, like psychology and art. I could be a really good art teacher. I really wanted to. Do you want me to do like little different like skill videos about art or teaching art? Let me know if you're interested in me giving you updates like, hey, this is how I draw hands and this is who taught me about it. Like with crochet, my sister-in-law taught me how to do said thing. I mean, I knew the basics of how to continue loops and continue a crochet. I didn't know much. I still don't know much about tension. I don't know a lot. But it is why the center of this scarf is slightly smaller than the bottom of it. And it's literally just because of the tension being completely different from start to finish. Like, hey, I just learned how to do this, to, hey, I'm finally getting the hang of this. In scarves, you have to try to keep it consistent all the way through as much as possible. That's difficult, especially if it's super long. Because I know the count and the stitch count is the exact same through every single one of these rows. But the tension, not so much. Not the best at keeping the tension consistency. I will say the looser the tension, the wider the stitches will be. And it's better when trying to make it more fluffy and softer. Because the parts where my hands are looser and the stitches are less tight is so much softer than the parts where they are more tight. Because the fibers are just more open and less congested. My cell is really good at a lot of different things. But sometimes I'm just like, if you put yourself out there, you could be really like popular and like you could make a decent buck because she is prettier than me, but also smarter than me. So I'm just like, well, if you got over your social anxiety and could focus on one hobby, and like, I will even share her if she asks or accepts. She could make so much money. Especially since she makes clothing. That shit is lit. I mean, she did just start. So there is no elastic in the waistbands of my pants. But you know what? It makes them more comfortable though. And I did choose some heavier fabrics. So them being a little bit looser around the waist makes a little bit more sense. Because I mean, my waist and my ass don't really fit the same size of pattern. According to my sil, she was like, you probably should go with an extra small rather than a small, but the patterns don't go that small. And I'm like, thanks, but also, what the fuck? When I showed my dad the music box I made, it was really funny because of the fact that he was like, wow, you're like so much shorter than I thought. And I'm like, that's probably because you see me when I'm wearing heels most of the time. And he was like, yeah, that checks out. I mean, it's not like you can easily see my shoes whenever I'm wearing them because all of my pants are way too long on me, so they cover my shoes. I purposely like getting longer pants. I dropped my phone. Love my personality. Having to teach people that they do need to apologize for making crude jokes or something, or saying something inappropriately that they probably shouldn't, is difficult, but I also want people to learn from their mistakes. Like, I care about you enough to warn you. I feel like a parent sometimes. I'm not. I'm not. There are so many people in my age group who are, and I'm not. And I'm just like, I feel like one sometimes because of the fact that I have to talk to them occasionally to make sure they don't say something stupid and help guide them through shit. I have too many people flirting with me that are under the age of 18, and I'm just uncomfortable. So I ignore it. Like, I'm like, sorry, but you're not in my age group. Please flirt with someone in your town or something, or your school. And if all of them are shitty, then try refraining from dating until you're an adult. And flirting with the people on social media is so weird to me. Because I'm just like, don't you want to know a person in person before you like date them? Like, I get it. Some people, they can do online dating. And if it's between two adults, completely different situation. But if you're young, they have so many like groups and things that you can go to be around people your age. But during younger years, shouldn't your priority be making the best of friends and growing as a person, figuring out what to do? When I get sassed for telling a person to apologize, I'm just like, dude, you messed up. Just deal with it in the correct way, too. Like, you're in a public chat. You're not going to make a dark joke with just anyone, okay? If you're going to make dark jokes, you got to have the right crowd. Not everyone can handle a dark joke, same as not everyone can handle certain forms of comedy. When I shared something funny, I usually make sure it's light-hearted humor. Or a blonde joke because my Sil is blonde and it's really funny watching her walk into shit. She's not stupid, but she's definitely clumsy. So that's something. I did used to have a friend who used to cut herself. And well, I don't know what she's up to now, but I do know there were many reasons she got bullied, and it was mainly because of how she grew up and her mom, who did not feed her. Also, to mention, she did smell like cat pee, but if you yourself cannot smell it, then it only bothers other people. Teaching a person that you cannot make suicidal jokes with people who might find it not funny is a lot to have to discuss with a person. Um, the person I'm talking about is a lot like the boy who cried wolf. Attention seeking behavior constantly. But I fear that if they continue it, that eventually, when they actually really need help, no one will listen. That is my one and only concern. And that is what I brought up with them. And I will bring it up with them again, if need be. Because I care a little bit. I understand that usually attention seeking behavior stems from a lack of positive attention when you do good things rather than shocking things. I mean, attention is attention, and kids want any form they can get. So if you only give them attention when they do something bad, they're probably going to do more bad things. Gotta give them attention for the good shit, too. And then once they realize, oh wait, I get more positive attention when I do this versus bad attention when I do that, they'll start preferring one form of attention over the other. Positive reinforcement is one of the best learning habits, according to my psychology textbook. I personally think positive reinforcement does help, does motivate me. Which is why I keep making content. Because of positive reinforcement, and I love it. Seeing my watch hours go up each and every time I post a video is really endearing and really encouraging, you know? Even just leaving a video running over again on repeat, or opening up one of my playlists and just leaving it open while you go through your day, that ups my watch hours. Just leaving my videos on, it ups my watch hours, ups my view counts. It makes me do better. Every little thing counts. And it does motivate me to make more content. Even if I have so much other stuff going on, like my job, my family, my friends, I still make content because of reinforcement. The positive reactions, the intrigue. The thought of making people laugh or think about life or trying to grow or be better really enforces the fact that I want to keep filming and talking about things. I like seeing personal growth in people while working with them. The only reason I talk with certain people is literally just in hopes that they grow as a person and become better. Same thing with myself, though, because I don't always know what I'm saying or if I'm saying it in the wrong way. Half the videos that I film, I forget what I say, unless you like tag exactly what I said that made you answer the way you did. I get very lost and very tired very quickly. Like, I know I showed off my Lego sets in one of my live streams. Have no idea which one. I cannot tell one live stream from another because I do not label my live streams. I can, though. I can start doing that now that I have my beautiful, nice camera. Instead of using my phone to film. The phone might be easier and easier to post with, but it is less beautiful and clear. The image is not as bad. Don't get me wrong, my phone camera isn't the shittiest thing in the world, but it's definitely not the best camera. As soon as my mom saw what phone I had, though, she was like, I'm so glad you don't have that shitty old phone anymore. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm kind of thinking about getting an iPhone, but only for filming. I would not use it for literally anything else. This phone I'd take with me anywhere, no matter what. My pride and my joy, my baby. I love this thing. Also, I do not know how people use iPhones. They are so complicated. For no reason either. Like, can everything just be in different little, like, can you organize the phone better? My friend apparently knows how to make an iPhone look more like an Android when it comes to display, but also the fact that Apple products don't use Google and I use Google for everything makes it annoying to me. But also, why are all attachments to iPhones so expensive? Like, why do you not even put a charger in the box? And why do only certain chargers work with certain phones? That's wild. Like, they have to be a certain amount of voltage for them to work with certain iPhones. And I'm just like, that just makes it more complicated. Though if I do find a phone with wireless charging and I can just put my phone somewhere and leave it, that'd be kind of cool. Apparently, some phones can do that. My friend, she said that my phone apparently can do wireless charging, and you can just leave it somewhere and it charge. But I don't know if my model can do that. But it's not like I've seen anyone else use wireless charging before. And I didn't do much research on it. I know nothing about phones that much. I barely know anything about crochet. One thing I know a lot about is art and the elements of art. I have a degree in it. I have an associate's in arts. Really good at art. Oh, the kids are coming back from school. What a time. If I tell you to shut up and be quiet for a bit, it's usually because I'm in the middle of something and I want to be left alone completely, even without notifications, because I'm paranoid as fuck and I do check my notifications very repetitively because of anxiety. Being asked what could make my life easier, and I'm just like, thinking about that, I'm just like, I don't think anything other than, I mean, I can tell them to increase my watch hours. That's the only thing I can think they can actually help me with. That's literally the only thing that I can think of people actually being able to help me with, is just leaving videos playing to increase my watch hours. I'm gonna finish this section, like once it gets tight again, where I have to pull out more thread, and then I'm going to stop crocheting and end the video. But the only things that can really help me as a person is donations. Can be literally any amount. Even $2 can help, because I can buy some food with that. I can buy ramen. My favorite is ramen, actually. My favorite ramen place that I haven't had in a while is Koo's, and my favorite meal from there is their pengharme. It is so good. And, well, it's $15, so it's really cheap, and it lasts 2 days. But nobody I like likes that food. None of my friends want to go to Koo's, and I'm just like, I get it. It is expensive because it's Chinese food. But I like the cheapest thing on the menu, which is literally just a soup. I really like soups. If you ever send me a bunch of soup, that would be hilarious to me. If anyone ever sent me soup, I would find it so funny, but so endearing at the same time, because I love soups. Different kinds of ramens, different kinds of soups. I love soups. I think the irony in that is I have really strong teeth, and I can't tell when I'm chewing on bones versus when I'm chewing on the meat of food, which is why I tend to not like eating meat that has the bones or tendons. Because I tend to just chew through them. And then I'm just like, oh, this has a weird flavor. I'm gonna spit it out. And I'm just like, oh shit, I was chewing on a bone? When you're missing too many nerves, so you just don't know what you're doing. I don't really know. Donations help. That's, or watching my videos. Just as many as you can, as long as you can keep them playing. That also helps. Those are like the two forms of help that anyone can really give me. Long form content watching constantly, or sending me actual money. And I do appreciate everything that people do for me. I do, I promise. Okay. Consider this the end of the video. But this still was fun. Have a good night, my fab fans. Peace, love, subscribe. Bye.